What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Welcome back to Forge Home Consulting. Today we have my friend and my business partner's wife, Brooke Almendares. Or is it still your original last name? Almendares.
Yeah, no, it's official.
Yeah, you got to roll the R because, if you can't roll the R, then what are we doing? So, so she's here today to kind of just share her experience with her home buying process and what it was like to basically take advantage of other people's money in order to purchase her house. So, but yeah, you want to share a little bit something about yourself and what is this uniform? Is this teacher?
No. My husband likes to call this a do-rag. It's a scrub cap.
Okay.
It's a scrub cap. But I work in the medical center. I've been a nurse in specifically the pediatric critical care setting for the last 5 to 6 years.
Okay. Is nursing something like your parents forced you to do? Or is it something that you love? Or were you adopted by Filipino parents that forced you to become a nurse?
No, I genuinely enjoy my job and wanted to pursue nursing. After a couple of really cool experiences, being able to follow around some missionaries who were nurses working in incredibly remote areas, sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ while using their medical skills to reach people.
Okay.
So, but I ended up in inpatient nursing here in the States and fell in love with critical care. So
is nursing something that once you don't want to work anymore, something that you would like to use in the mission field?
Possibly. I think that is definitely still an opportunity that the Lord could possibly present and something that I'm not at all resistant to.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Kenny said you don't want to work anymore. So, so what did you know about home buying process prior to even just knowing Kenny or talking to me, right? Did your parents tell you something about what you need to do in order to save up for home buying, or what did Google or YouTube tell you about it, right?
Right. And I truly knew very little, if anything. My only expectation in purchasing a home was that I would have to have a significant amount ready for a down payment to be able to actually afford an adventure like that.
Okay.
My parents were very adamant growing up, Dave Ramsey-esque in their approach to personal finance and ensuring that we did not accumulate debt.
That's right.
And did a very, very good job working with us kids to try to get us through school without excessive amount of debt, if any at all. And so that's really all I knew. Okay. Truly an infant when it comes to any knowledge of buying.
When you were saying that you need to put a huge amount of down payment in order to even start the process, how long do you think it would have taken you? Let's say you decided to buy last year, right? You bought a house last year. How long do you think it would have taken you to even save that amount of money just to buy a house that you can afford?
Yeah. Right? So I was single at the time and not yet married to my husband, Kenny. And I really think that I wouldn't have been able to purchase the home apart from down payment assistance, unless we had gotten married, had a joint bank account, had merged our funds together to be able to put down a down payment, or it probably would have been 5 to 10 years down the road before I would have been able to do that in good conscience, maintaining that philosophy of not accumulating excessive amounts of debt.
I guess knowing that it would have been like 5 to 10 years before you could have bought a house if you would have followed, what you knew of not accumulating debt. Do you think you would be able to afford a house in 5 to 10 years, knowing what the real estate trends have been?
Even then, it's possible that it would have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So
what was your experience using down payment assistance program? Right, because a lot of people look down on it. Right, it was like, well, I make a lot of money. Well, do you have savings? Right, or the interest rates are high. Well, for me and Kenny, we always teach people don't focus on the interest rate because you can always refinance a rate. Right, a lot of people, it's like, well, I want a lower monthly payment. Okay, well, we teach people. There's a reason why they call it a buyer's market. A buyer's market is a lower sales price, higher interest rate. Yeah, you might have a slightly higher monthly payment, and that's why we tell people buy what you can afford. And then the seller's market is basically high sales price, lower interest rate. But really, if you match those numbers, the monthly payment for, let's call it $250,000, 7% interest rate, and then you have a $300,000, 5% interest rate, the monthly payment is about $50 lower on the $300,000, 5% interest rate. right? So, but when you refinance a $250,000 home, 7% interest rate to 5%, you start seeing that drop by $300 to $500 a month, right? So most people don't realize that. So basically, what were your thoughts on just the down payment assistance program?
I think it really scared me at first, honestly,
Yeah.
because I was also met with some resistance and hesitation on the part of the people, particularly my family members who
Yeah.
are around me, wondering what this was all about.
Yeah.
And so it really took you sitting down with me and spending a good amount of one-on-one time with me to educate me about those things, and really not just look at the immediacy of the purchase, but look at, the implications of that purchase over a longer period of time. And that was incredibly helpful in kind of shifting my mindset and understanding that refinancing would ultimately help me in the long run. Yeah. And so here I am about 5 months into owning a home and looking to refinance as a result of interest
and I
rates
think I was talking to Kenny about it, right? So the rates for refinancing are definitely a lot lower than what the rates are for purchasing a home. So, and I think I also talked to you about the loan amortization schedule, right? Because I think I don't know if I did, but basically because you're so good at saving your money, right? And you have this mentality of no debt, right? It doesn't matter what interest rate you have, because you can always put extra money towards the principal and cut the life of the loan based on what you're putting in, right? So there's always that solution. So like it's never just one way of doing things. It's just whatever fits you and your family, right? So, but yeah, anything else that you can share with, the home buyers out there, or just people in general that's looking to buy a home or that needs to learn financial literacy, just anything that you can share that would help them, with their process.
Yeah, no, I think that Forge in general, between you, Kenny, and anyone else that was helpful along the way in the process, made it incredibly smooth. I felt like I didn't have to lift a finger at the time when I was in the process of buying. I was on night shift and I was struggling to be awake during the day to, make appointments and have calls.
Yeah.
You guys were more than happy to accommodate my wonky schedule. But on top of that, considering how little I understood about home buying and the education that it required to get me to a point where I was comfortable moving forward, you guys spent that time with me, right? And so I really felt like my hand was held in an incredibly kind and personalized way throughout the whole process that made it wonderfully easy.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't have any regrets looking back on the process. I also appreciate that you guys, I know, have the intention of creating more educational content like this to ensure that people have the resources they need to make wise decisions. So that focus and the individualized care that you give each person is remarkable, and something that you really don't find in a lot of other areas. So
yeah, well, she said a lot of good things, but she still hasn't left us a review.
I did. I definitely did.
She did? Well, I apologize.
5 stars, brother. 5 stars.
Okay, I guess my last question to you is, does your parents know how you purchased the house, or do they have any idea? Like, did they ever ask questions? Did they ever give you advice? Right? If so, what were they?
And truthfully, I don't know that they understand the nitty-gritty details of how we hashed all of this out. And I do think they're still kind of wondering, okay,
How?
what is this girl doing? Or what did she do? But as time unfolds and we continue to talk about, all of those things, I think they're growing an understanding of the fact that you can do things in some slightly unconventional ways and keep money in your pocket, which is incredible.
And so get to the point where they were on basically when they purchased their house, right? Like I said, it's just like, you're good at saving. So, hey, look, pay off the house sooner if you want to. Right? And now that interest rate now becomes a paperweight. Like, it doesn't mean anything, right? The more you pay towards the principal, right? Because now you're beating the schedule. You're ahead of the schedule, right? If you decide not to refi. And even if you refi, you can do the exact same thing, right? Because you're so early in the stage of your mortgage, 4 months in, that you haven't really put in a lot of money towards the principal of the home. So, but yeah, thank you for coming here and just talking with us about your home buying process and just sharing your testimony to our non-existing fans yet. So, so yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you would like to have more informational videos, you know, just comment what kind of questions or videos you would like for us to post as far as educational or just anything in general. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks, guys.